It's time. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Magic Marble. Here we are at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, 1 mile of chaos. These elbows are going to be out, throttled down, and ARCA short track madness. Well, it's going to feel like a bar fight down here. Welcome in, everybody, to Stam Studio Network. My name is, of course, the one, the only Sean Stam, and hey, I'll be bringing you some action, the live coverage here tonight of the ARCA Super Series. This is 1 mile long track. It's flatter than a 2 liter of soda that you left open overnight. And well, entry into turn 1, that's where we're going to see friendships go to die. These cars don't stick, they skid. And well, quite frankly, it's all about rolling that center, and you got to manage that brake heat. Some of these drivers, they're sending it like we're about to see in the Indy 500 just 1 week from now. Goodness, let's take a look at that race info, and most importantly, guys, take a look at that track temperature. 102 degrees here out in Loudon. Hell, it's going to be a barn burner. If you're just now joining in, my name is once again Sean Stam, and I really appreciate it. Let me know possibly who your pick is to win as we take a look at the first. Let's take a look at the points, then we'll take a look at our starting grid. Got them rolling up on screen now, and it's none other than, who is that? Brandon Moore, Bud Shearer, Mike Campbell, John Holliday, Brad Slagle, Kevin Roy, Austin Mice, Samuel Blackwell, Philip Brigdman, Dale Rapp, rounding out our top 10 in the ARCA Super Series, brought to you by Extreme Scoring. Appreciate them coming out here. Throughout this whole season, got Joseph there running MVP 11 driver points. Taking a look at our starting grid as we have engines fired here for just the only 80 laps, 80 miles of racing. It's going to be none other than Brandon Moore putting it on the pole. Charles Van Schwick going to be right there beside him. Austin Mice there, P3. DJ Kenner, Brian Huntley Jr., Bud Shearer, who was fastest in practice, going to line up P6. Brian Huntley Jr., Tyler Massey, Zach Duscher, rounding out our 9th, 10th, and 11th. Trent Blalock, Mike Allen, Dale Rapp, John Holliday, Brad Slagle, Trenton Johnson, Robert Armall, Robert Anthony, Philip Brigman, Gary, Jason Kinzer, Xavier Salgado, rounding out our 25 driver field here tonight. Appreciate all the sponsors, of course. We cannot forget them. We got Extreme Scoring, I already mentioned those guys. Bearded Bear Custom Hides, Admin Box, Mad Dog Graphics, as well as Silver Fox Racing. One more, Alpha One Foundation. Appreciate those guys coming out here this weekend so we can give you, or excuse me, yeah, it is weekend here in the ARCA Super Series. Brandon Moore, you got the field in your hands, that number 43. It's had some pace throughout the Cup Series on Tuesday nights as well as here on Saturday nights in the ARCA Super Series. Brandon Moore, Charles Van Schwick. He has been quick throughout this whole season, right as well as he's right there up there in the points as we're going to get 2 by 2. Green flag is out from Loudon as we're already jockeying for a position there back in the back of the pack. Back up to the fronts, though, got Brandon Moore, Charles Van Schwick, Austin Mice, DJ Kenner leading us into turns 1 and 2 for the first time tonight. Brandon Moore getting the lead and start to run away with it as here comes Austin Mice in that number 97. He is going to be hungry for a race win here tonight with as good as he run in the Cup Series as well as Kansas on the ARCA Series as well. That number, the McConey Setup Shop Chevy, both Camaro and Chevy SS here tonight, starting to look strong early on as he dives now down to the inside of DJ Kenner. DJ now works on the outside as he gains P3. So far looking at just a spot of where he started. Oh, that's already Brian Huntley Jr. with a massive save in that number 88. That's really hard to do in these ARCA cars. That's Dale Earnhardt Jr. inspired Nation's Guard. Man, Brian, way to hang on to that, buddy. We're going to keep this thing moving and grooving. How about Travis Farmer? He finds himself up a spot from the start of the race. Travis, glad that you're starting to feel a little bit better here, that you can race these ARCAs on some short tracks here tonight with us. That number 13 is now drops back to P9. Now looks down the outside for that P8 spot once again on the outside of Brian Huntley Jr. Got Tyler Massey, also that Harvest number 17 Ford Mustang right in front of this side-by-side battle for P8. Cutting back on board with our battle for P3. Here's DJ Kinner, Bud Shearer, our fastest car in practice by just 7/1000th of a second, I do believe, for that number 93. Number 93, as that's another Chevy SS. Man, quite a few of them here on track tonight. Liking what I'm seeing, and Bud had quite, his long distance runs were also pretty well. Right now, Ford Mustang leading Charles Van Schack and his, excuse me, that's a Ford Mustang as well for Charles Van Schwick, excuse me there. Brandon Moore still out front as a caution is now out on the speedway. Man, how did I get that wrong there? Brandon Moore, obviously, that number 43 Chevy SS, Food City Tide sponsors all over that. And real quick, let's take a look and see what happens. I believe this is Robert Chiswick involved. Hopping on board with our SSN drone cam here tonight. These are quick laps that tick off here at New Hampshire. Yes, you heard that's right. And this is the number 6 on the bottom of your screen. There's going to be a little, it's just a self-induced spin. That's all it'll take. And let's hop on board with Robert, kind of see what he saw. Able to lock it down, keeps it out of that inside safer barrier. However, unfortunately going to drop now down to P25 for Roberts. We got a few takers on pit road. Only 4 sets of tires available in this quick 80-lap race. More importantly, though, I mean, tires definitely the name of the game here tonight. I heard from quite a few drivers in practice, this 103-degree track temp right now is just a killer. The track is super duper slick. You see it there, the right side of your screen, even though it's partly cloudy conditions here up in New Hampshire. It's still going to kill the tires a little bit, especially on these ARCA Menards cars where these things are 3,400 pounds if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, no traction control. You got to have the big right foot and a whole lot of confidence. These drivers, they're going to look like, or they are going to look like legends as well. They've been definitely steering some refrigerators out on the track here so far. Brandon Moore continues to lead us in that number 43 Chevy SS. Charles Van Schwick, DJ Kinner, Austin Mice, Zach Duscher, rounding out our top 5. So we double. As we get too wide here for one more pace lap before we get green flag racing once again from Loudon. Man, I appreciate everybody joining in there in YouTube land. Of course, let me know who your race pick is to win. Once again, that's Brandon Moore, Charles Van Schwick, DJ Kinner, Austin Mice, Zach Duscher rounding out that top 5. Also has Tyler Massey, Brian Huntley Jr., Travis Farmer, Sean Judson right there with them. And remember, last week, Sean Judson, I believe, finishing out P3. Has a nice run out for Sean last week. I'll tell you what, this driver also knows how to spell Sean right. I'll give him that much. They're out of Fleetwood. Mac. Okay, we're going to get things going back green once again here. Side by side for our race lead as our iRacing safety car is going to dive into the pits. Here we go. This time, Brandon Moore. Once again, the field will be in your hands. Barney, get to waving it, buddy. Whip it out. Wave that green flag. Here we go. Once again, Brandon Moore leading Charles Van Schwick into turns 1 and 2. A little bit of a wall scrape out there for Austin Mice heading into that turn 1 and 2. Charles Van Schwick, that number 23, not able to keep out on the outside bumper of our race leader. Here we're going to go 2, almost 3 wide, a little bit further in the back of the pack. Here comes Braxton Jarrett. He's got Sean Judson as well as Dale Rapp in his back bumper. Oh boy, Braxton in a sandwich of some 2 wide action right now. Travis Farmer, Brian Huntley Jr. right up there in front. Start to single file it out now as Travis finds that top lane. Here we go, some more dual wide action for the 52 and that number 19 for the top 10th spots. Oh, contact between the two. Dale Rapp getting a little shove out of Sean Judson. Still side by side heading out on the back straightaway here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway as here comes, oh man, John Holliday coming out of nowhere, gained 4 spots on the race already. Trent Blaylock also fighting for this P13 spot with Bud Shear. We're going to hop on board with Trent right now as he's looking down that hill into turn 1 once again. Got the driver of the number 30, Philip Brigman, right on that outside. Love these roll bar cams. It really allows us to see the different lines these drivers are able to take here from New Hampshire. And you see it really not running that apron as we typically do on short track racing. Right now we're running the middle lane as well as the top. Speaking of the top, my goodness, what a run for Philip out there out of turn 4 as he gains 2 spots in 1 lap. Got that number 9 there looking down the inside of John Holliday though. Back to our race lead right now is all right as we were about to cut to it. Food City, number 43, Tide of Brandon Moore, continuing to lead us, but right now we actually have Anthony Lane around. Oh, front bumper gone out of that machine. Oh, that Pabit blue ribbon has seen better days. Taking a look at the replay here, and we'll hop on board on a little zoomed in cam, see if we can try and decipher this. And if not that, we'll take a look at the SSN aerial drone cam. There's the 81 trying to work down the inside of that number 11, who is Jason Kinzer. Oh, man, I don't even think there's contact. It's huge spin for the number 81. He stays in the gas, keeps it off the racing line, but that's, right back in the safer barrier. Let's take that drone cam shot as it never misses. Here we go. And is there contact between these two drivers, Jason and Anthony? Anthony running that bottom lane. No contact whatsoever. I think that's just a little bit too much steering input for Anthony Lane, as this time we'll hop on board and see exactly what Anthony saw as we have the driver eye cam available with us. A little bit too much steering input or just a little bit too early on the throttle. It happens quick, especially in these 103-degree track temperatures here from New Hampshire tonight. Yes, I do keep saying, I don't know. I'm just going to keep it going. If you like it, well, that's cool, and you can ship me a New Hampshire. That would be nice, and show your appreciation for me up here in the booth as well as behind the scenes. Do we have any driver cams tonight? If we don't, I might have to hop behind the scenes and show you what I'm dealing with here. All right, no driver cams. I'll tell you what, real quick, I'm going to try and join this here and give you a little something here special on Stam Studio Network. Alrighty, we are 2 by 2, getting ready for another restart. Do I have enough time? Okay, I'll do it next under caution, but I got a little behind-the-scenes action for you here. But right now, Brandon Moore, Charles Van Schwick, who has been very quick throughout this whole season, will lead us to the green flag. The start zone will be in Brandon Moore's hands as we have Austin Mice, DJ Kinner, still Zach Disher up here. Right now, 2 spots on the start of the race. Alrighty, 2 by 2 once again. Oh, they're going to keep the pace car out. I think this might be for me, maybe. Delayed green, or just for possibly somebody to catch back up on the pack here. I'm going to give you something special here on Stam Studio Network. 1 second. Alrighty, here's what we are working with behind the scenes here. I got, 1, 2, 3 different screens. Well, normally 3, but there you see, there's old Brandon Moore leading us here. And I have so many buttons to deal with here on the side, as well as, a little too many notes to deal with, but we're going to get green flag racing once again. Brandon Moore, Charles Van Schwick will lead us to it. Cannot be doing it without this stream deck. That iRacing safety car going to lead us to the green flag. Well, he's actually going to get out of the way from it. He's going to dive into the safety of pit road. Brandon Moore, Charles Van Schwick, Austin Mice, DJ Kenner. Here we go into turn one. Once again, second restart here tonight. Hopefully just a little more clean than the last ones. Well, right now, still side by side for that 1, 2, 3rd, and 4th spots. Right now, Zach Duscher able to take away P5 as here comes Brian Huntley Jr. now looking down the inside of Zach Duscher. We're going to cut back to our battle for the race lead as Charles Van Schwick looks down the... Oh, we have contact between the two race leaders. Brandon Moore and Charles able to keep it moving and grooving. I don't know how, though. These ARCA cars, once again, refrigerators, especially at such a short track like New Hampshire. We're going to head side by side once again for the 43 and the 23 as here comes Austin Mice getting a front row view of this battle that McConey Setup Shop Chevy SS. Number 97 now looking down the inside of DJ. We're going to hop on board with Austin here as he looks down the hill, tries to make the bottom of the track work where there's, quite frankly, I thought there was no grip. He's still side by side with DJ. Here comes Zach Duscher right behind. Austin Mice liking the lower line right now as, I don't think his tires are going to like it though. You got to start to conserve these puppies. We are 20 laps down in the 80 lap. SSN 80 from New Hampshire. We're going to look 2 and 3, almost even 4 wide here. A little bit further in the pack. That's Brian Huntley Jr. climbing the hill. Here comes Tyler Massey. That's Harvest number 17. Looks like Travis Farmer slapping the wall on the exit. Here comes Philip Brigman. Newer paint scheme for that Ford Mustang. We're still going to look side by side for P6 as well as P8. Right now, Brian Huntley Jr. having a front row battle of Bud Shear and Austin Mice going at it. We're going to hop on board with that Brian Huntley Jr. I believe his motto is, yes, there you see it, bottom of your screen. Earnhardt's mind after 3 bumps, and then it's see ya. Of course, in the bump and run, well, you're going to get a little bump. You're going to get a little run here and there as well. Brian Huntley definitely not scared to show it off as he continues to run at P7. Right now, -2 spots on where he started this race. As here's another nice battle. Trent Blaylock and Braxton Jarrett's going at it right now for P13 on track. That number 22 Braxton drift heavily up the hill. He's going to kill his momentum here as here comes Sean Judson now looking for that P14 spot. Now down the inside in his Toyota Camry number 19. Appreciate once again everybody coming out here in YouTube land showing me who makes it all happen. And was that Travis Farmer? He was, I mean, couldn't get off the wall there. We're gonna have to take a look and see what happened to Travis because he lost, I mean, probably looking like 8 spots right now. I believe this is when this all started here, is when Philip Brigman was looking down the inside of Travis. And oh man, what was that? Oh my goodness. Okay, well, there's Robert Shiswick. He has no problem with it. What just happened? That was a brake check and a half right there. Let's take another look at it from our only SSN aerial drone shot. Man, oh man, that could have been a caution flag thrown for, the 29 right there is so off the pace. Unfortunately, cost Travis Farmer pretty big there. As he continues to drop spots, I wonder if Travis has damage right now. We'll try and take a look at a zoomed in shot of front of his car. It doesn't look like damage, but just definitely a quick reaction to Mike Allen there, who's now on Travis Farmer's outside. That's AMP Energy Nation guard number 29. So far, our only driver a lap down, and he's staying in the gas. Brandon Moore continuing to lead here from New Hampshire. Charles Van Schwick. He's only half a second there back in P2. Zach Duscher. How about this? Zach's probably our driver to watch here tonight. Zach in that 00. He's worked up 4 spots on where he started this race. He is depressed, crazy, possibly insane there out of Wisconsin. As now he is dealing with DJ now down the inside. There's a little bit of a slide job for that Toyota Camry. Real quick, now that we're starting to run some green flag runs, 70% fuel here tonight. This is, according to my math, oh, contact! Well, that's doesn't take too much math to tell you that there's contact there. According to my math, that'll be about 40 laps on a fuel tank. And remember, I believe everybody hitting lap. We'll pull it up here. Or maybe not. Looks like our top runners right now all staying out. We had some takers like Xavier Salgado, Gary Huffins, and Trenton Johnson back here who pit on our last. That was lap 13 that these drivers come in and pit. But right now it's not looking like new tires mean all that much. Once again, only 4 sets. This quick 80 lap race. Track temps continuing to rise. 104 degrees there, you see. It's killing these tires. I don't know how we don't have any blisters starting to form on them already, or if we do. I mean, my goodness, we're starting to see them form right now. Sean Judson starting to lose a few spots after hard battling earlier on in this race. How about Zach Disher still up here in 3rd place? That 00, he's still up 4 spots. This is possibly, I think, my driver to watch. We also have Xavier Salgado, who did pit on lap 13, who has those newer General tires. Xavier Salgado right now up 10 spots from where he started. All right, guys, stick with me. We're almost to halfway, and then I will treat you all to the sights and sounds of the racetrack here at New Hampshire. Right now, we're going to stick with me up in the booth, and only 9 laps to go, and I'll bring you on board with just who you want to hear, possibly even give you some spectator cams there. But until then, Travis Farmer right now, he's got to be pissed off at himself, but he continues to turn some nice laps. His last lap was a 30.84. The leader's last lap was a 30.4. Speaking of our leader, he's starting a little check-out action here for Brandon Moore. That number 43's led just about every single lap here tonight from New Hampshire. Got Charles Van Schwick right there in P2. Is his battle for P2, I think, is starting to heat up here just a little bit between Zach Disher. This is once again my driver to watch here as Zach continuing to put. Well, he makes the passes look, quite frankly, a little easy in these ARCA cars. I don't know if it's just the setup he's got working here tonight. Is it just a little bit shorter run speed, or is it just a little bit of driver skill as well? This is right now 2,300 overall I rating for Zach, trying to pass a 4,200 I rating driver. GOAT diecast number 23. Charles has been so fast week in and week out, not only within our Tuesday night Cup Series, but also this Saturday night ARCA Super Series. And once again, thanking the sponsors, because this is what allows me to come out and bring you coverage, as well as, of course, the man Anthony Lane. Anthony right now running 22nd on track as he got a new front nose on that Chevy SS. Sponsors: Extreme Scoring, Bearded Bear, Custom Hides, of course, Admin Box, Mad Dog Graphics, Silver Fox Racing, of course, the one, the only Alpha One Foundation. Could not be doing this without you guys. As everything behind the scenes, we took a look at my behind the scenes shots earlier in what should have been driver cams. No driver cams here tonight, but we got the commentator and producer cam out for Sam Studio Network right now. Though we have a little bit more important stuff happening here on track. The battle for our P2 spots continuing to heat up, and man, Brandon Moore's starting to check out here now. A 3.5 second gap. Charles Van Schwick continuing to hold off Zach Disher and DJ Kinner here. Just 4 laps to go until we get to the one, the only Crank It Up. But right now, man, with this battling right now on track, DJ Kinner is starting to gain a few more spots, as well as, man, here comes Bud, our fastest driver on track. Bud Shearer, that number 93. Out there. Sorry, out of Norwood, Ontario. Bud Shearer having himself a really nice run here tonight, and possibly a little bit more of a long run setup in his ARCA Chevy SS. Now he has DJ now down the inside. Bud's trying to make the outside work where there is just a little bit more banking. Once again, with this extremely high track temp, you got to be so careful. You don't want to burn these general tires off, especially the rears off here too soon, because you will be fading. You'll be falling like a rock here. As, man, we're looking to almost 3 wide between these 3 drivers. Here's Bud Shearer continuing to work. He just passed Zach Disher. Now going to possibly put some work on Charles Van Schwick, that driver in the 2nd position. Goodness, you could throw a blanket over this 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Call it even 6th battle, as here comes Austin Mice now on the inside of DJ Kinner. Speaking of down the inside, here comes that number 93. My goodness, he is somehow able to make it stick here at New Hampshire. All right, you guys have dealt with me long enough. Enjoy this STAM Studio Network. Crank it up. I'll be right back with you up here up in the booth as the number 93 continues to slide up the hill. Almost a little contact. Enjoy these sights and sounds of the racetrack. Alrighty, go ahead, crank this puppy back down. Sean Stam back up with you here in the booth, and we were watching some pretty good battling there within our little 4 or 5 lap crank it up. I'll try to treat you guys one more to it if we get to it a little bit later on in the run. But right now, Charles Van Schwick continuing to lead. Brandon Moore continuing to lead. The only reason I messed that up, I mean, come on. Take a look at that left side. 7-second gap right now. Brandon over Charles Van Schwick as he has a back bumper full of Zach Disher. Here comes, whoa, my goodness, who was that off the pace there? Looked like that lighter Toyota Camry. Yeah, that was DJ Kenner, that number 80. That was definitely had a little bit of a moment there off the exit of 2, I believe that was. Remember, as we start to tick down some more green flag runs, only 70% fuel tonight in these ARCA series cars. And according to my calculations, math definitely not my major, so yeah, I'll give you all authority to come at me here if I'm wrong. But I believe 70% should calculate just to about 40 laps of green flag racing right now. And with those 4 sets of tires, we've already had some drivers come in a little bit earlier in the race to take those tires. Speaking of pits, here we go. Green flag pit stop's going to commence here. Right now, Bud Shear going to start them off. Travis Farmer also in as well. Driver out of Norwood, Ontario, Bud Shearer, once again our fastest driver in practice. Here you got Travis Farmer. He's up in the mountains himself. Driving the K&N filters, number 13 Chevy SS, bringing it down pit road, and this is definitely within our window, but we're going to have to see where these drivers cycle out and possibly see who runs a little bit deeper on in the race. Here's Brandon Moore there out of Johnson City. No, not Johnson City, Texas. Johnson City, Tennessee for that driver of the 43. As he's starting to look on Philip Briggsman's back bumper. Man, the pace here out of Brandon. He's starting to put down our 19th running driver right now down a lap. I don't blame Philip for trying to fight for it, but just doesn't have the pace, and that's a little bit of a damaged Ford Mustang. Ooh, hopping on board with it. Oh man, trying to get this thing woed down is our leader, Brandon Moore. Somehow, I mean, it looked like he able to get it down to about 30 miles an hour, what I believe is our pitch road speed limit here tonight, as I'm trying to do a little bit of... Oh, 45, okay. God dang, I shouldn't have even pulled that up. I couldn't have gotten away with it. But going to drop it down to first gear. Right side's going up, so definitely at least 2 tires going on. We're gonna stay on board here with Brandon Moore. Yes, all 4 tires going up, and it's gonna be hard to speed out of that pit box. Got the number 1 stall, and right up through the gears we go. Second going to hit third here out of turn 2, and then get this number 43 back up to speed. Speaking of speed, let's see how fast we're running here into turn 3 as we head out of pit road. That was about 130 miles per hour. Right now, looking at Charles Van Schwick, who heads into turn number 3. A little bit slower, down at 121, looking at 125. Coming to the lap, 52 out of 80. Man, this ticked off pretty quick here tonight from the SSN 80 at New Hampshire. I appreciate everybody joining in here as we now have some green flag pit stops starting to make their way. Trenton Johnson in, as so is Trent Blaylock. Dale Rapp also in the 52, in and out pretty quickly now as Dale exits the pits in number 17th spot. We're going to have to see where this all cycles out to, as I think Van Schwick is going to possibly make the longer run work here. And look, this is like a Mario Kart race. Looking at the blips up in the top right of the screen, it's like, well, how many laps down am I, and when am I going to uncycle myself? Hopefully we'll all cycle out if we don't get a untimely caution flag. We've definitely had one too many times here. Right now, only our 8 front drivers, call that 7, are shown on the lead lap. Charles there down to Brandon Moore, and Brandon he was our leader before this pit stop cycle commenced. Brandon already back on the lead lap. That's just how much of a gap that this driver at number 43 had. Speaking of our pit stops, we got another one in here. Sean Judson, that driver of the number 19. Oh, God. Oh, God. Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? Oh, God. Okay, caution on the speedway. That'll be the Sean and Tater curse right there because, oh, yeah, Sean, I don't blame him. Okay. this is a little confusing. Sean and Tater Curse being me here behind the scenes, and then Sean, I don't blame him for driving straight through the pits, as that would have been service under yellow, would have been a penalty. I think this is the second week in a row that we've had an untimely yellow. This one will be Brad Slagle. Let's try and decipher, see what happened here. As this, I mean, it's going to completely screw over our caution flag. Oh, this was right behind the number 23. Contact with the number 93, just gets in the turn. Possibly didn't know Brad was going to check up that much, and Brad able to, pulls a Jimmy Johnson at Dover there, able to keep it out of the wall. On the brake, off the gas, on the gas, then off the brake once again. We're going to hop on board and take that driver ICAM, see what Brad saw here. It's not going to be much of a view here. Yep, that back end is damn near going to get lifted off the racing surface. We'll take one more look at it here, and then we'll see who wins the race off pit road. There's Brad, that number, a very white, vibrant number 052, and oh man, just looks like the number 93 getting in a little too deep. Here's we're going to cut back to live coverage. Brandon Moore leading us out of the pits. Here comes Charles Van Schwick. Sean Judson still in. Gary Huffins taking some tires as well as some Sunoco fuel. Jason Kinzer as well as Xavier Salgado. Real quick, just another shout out to everybody who makes this happen here tonight. Not only the sponsors, a little bit something more personal to me. Race to Stop Suicide. Know that they sponsor Daniel Dye down there in the Xfinity series, and well, it's just that it's a little bit something special to me. Goes a long way back, but if you can check them out, if you ever get a chance, racestopsuicide.com. They do everything that they can, as well as teen suicides. Try to stop those as well. Speaking of our main sponsors here tonight, Extreme Scoring once again, Bearded Bear, Custom Hides. Who else we got? Admin Box, Mad Doggy Graphics, Silver Fox Racing, as well as the one, the only Alpha One Foundation. ARCA Super Series Bump and Run. I appreciate you guys having me out here tonight. Normally Justin is up here in the booth with me every Tuesday night. I think that just it'll make you fight a little bit harder to get up into that Cup Series. And Bump and Run is, well, only in the ARCA Series you got Sean Stam as the lone commentator up in the booth. Speaking of lone, that safety car going to dive on to the lonesome pits road. Here we go, side by side once again here from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. This is Brandon Moore, Charles Van Schwick on the outside. Charles Van Schwick, does he have anything for the bumper of the number 43? As I don't think you want to let him get too far out of your sight. Sean Judson works his way back up to P3. Gary Huffins right now up 19 spots on the race lead. Right now, Charles Van Schwick, he's so Schwick here tonight. He looks down the inside, takes it away from Brandon Moore. Charles out to the lead. That's what I was just mentioning. You don't want to let this front driver start to fall away from your hands. And here we go. Low crossover move as now Brandon Moore shoved it into turn 2. Charles Van Schwick works the outside as now he dives down the inside in turns 3 and 4. No contact between these two drivers. The racecraft, the speed, call it what you will. I mean, bump and run. You cannot get much better than this as now contact with that outside wall. Brandon Moore, that's going to slow down the speed, the momentum. Sean Johnson continuing to reel in our two race leaders. Looking out of the back bumper of Charles Van Schwick now. Brandon Moore, his last lap was a 30.3. Sean Judson's was a 30.26. Sean continuing to reel in that number 43. Speaking of Sean, hopping on board with him now, coming to 20 laps to go. That's only 20 miles here from New Hampshire, and we're going to start to see these different racing lines start to come in once again. You're going to want to avoid that racing line as there could possibly be a little bit too much rubber grooved into the track now as you could start to find some speed, some momentum. Your General Tires could find some grip here in the middle and outside lines. Right now we have Van Schwick, Moore, Judson, Gary Huffins, Xavier Salgado finds his way up to P5. Single filed things pretty quickly, although right as I say that, here's DJ now looking down the inside of Robert Armal, not able to make that stick. How about Robert tonight, that number 77, having an excellent run. Tracker, what is that? Bass Pro Shops there on the front hood as well as rear bumper. And you better kick that boat into high gear as now that driver, number 80. DJ Kenner looks down the inside once again. A little bit of a look down the inside once again. A little double action here into turns 1 and 2 as well. As we're going to do it once again in 3 and 4 for DJ, not giving up any room. Is my goodness, who is that that's running wide? That's Bill Hales, that number 53, trying to stay on the lead lap. Now as he's got the number 80, DJ working his outside. It just happens all so quick here. Speaking of happen so quick, Van Schwick continuing to lead. Brandon Moore, Sean Judson in RP3 spot. Gary Huffins, Xavier Salgado, Robert Armal. We have not seen any position changes within our top 6 spots. Here comes Jason Kinzer, though, looking down the inside once again. Actually, now this on the outside, making the pass on Bud Shearer, as well as Braxton Jarrett, that number 22. Braxton now down a lap. We're going to head side by side down into turn 1 once again. Just 16 laps to go. Jason Kinzer with a front row seat of this battle from Robert Armal as well as DJ. Here we go, also battle for the race. Lead starting to heat up. This is just 0.2 of a second separating the 23 and the 43. Charles Van Schwick, Brandon Moore. Let me know who you have down there in YouTube chat below. 15 miles to go here from New Hampshire. Looking out the back bumper, GoPro cam. Our GOAT Racing diecast. Number 23 continuing to lead. Number 43, but how long does it last? Does Brandon Moore possibly present a bump and run, as he is definitely close enough? Just 0.15 seconds separating these two drivers. 2 car lengths apart heading down into turn 1. We're only going to have 14 laps to go here from New Hampshire. We got battles all over the racetrack. What do you watch right now? We continue to have Van Schwick continue to lead, and here's a really quick look at a nice battle between Bud Shearer and Austin Mice right now. Austin Mice continuing to hold off Bud in that chrome number 93, diving down the bottom of the hill as he's going to have to work down Bill Hales now, excuse me. Oh, contact from Bill Hales. We're looking live at it. That's going to be another yellow flag. Austin Mice involved. The driver number 51's Trenton Johnson goes around as well. Oh, you hate that for Austin, Mike Allen, Trenton Johnson, all these drivers that have had so much pace here tonight. You're probably sweating in the cockpit at this moment and just wanting to get this race all done and over with. Unfortunately, well, it's not going to happen that easy. We'll take a look and see the cause. 3 wide, that's Bill Hales on the bottom of the track. It looks like Bill's trying to run his line. As there's the darker number 51, purple and gray. And then Austin Mice, oh my goodness, heavy contact with the back bumper of Trenton. Gets the rear of that NASCAR lifted off the racing surface. Let's hop on board with Austin Mice here, as he, definitely had nowhere to go in that number 97. Oh, it happens just that quick. Oh my goodness, who missed? Who was that in the ARCA brakes that flew in there at Mach 2? Manages to miss the wreck. My goodness, well, we might take another look here, as we'll take a look and see who wins this so important race off of pit road right now, because it looks like Gary Huffins is going to stay out, Trent Blaylock as well, but we are going to have the 43, Brandon Moore, Charles Van Schwick, who led us down pit road, Willie Ave, this excellent pit stop. Here we go, right down out, and it looks like the 43 is going to lead us. Brandon Moore, that was the driver, who I believe led us down pit road. Sean Judson with a little bit of a quicker stop there. That number 19 takes P4. Charles Van Schwick going to drop P5 overall, as that was a little longer stop than I'm sure he was wanting. Xavier Salgado, that number 20 going to cycle out to P6, gaining 19 spots on the night. DJ Kinner, Brian Huntley Jr., Bud Shearer, Robert Armal rounding out our top 10. How about old Dale Raff, that number 52, he's in P11. John Holliday makes his way to P12. Tyler Massey up to P13. How about old Travis Farmer? The driver number 13 makes P14 right now. Jason Kinzer, Philip Brigsman, Braxton Jarrett, and starting our lap down drivers there, Braxton Jarrett, the driver the 22, as well as Zach Duscher, Trenton Johnson, Bill Hales, Anthony Lane, Mike Allen, Austin Mice, Brad Slagle, Robert Chiswick, and Kyle Goodwin. As we, I believe we should be getting 2 by 2 here tonight, hopefully the last time. If you're just now joining me, I thank you from the bottom of my heart, seriously. This is Sean Stam on Stam Studio Network. We're working of, upwards of 430 subscribers here on the old YouTube lands. Let me know who your race pick is to win, and hey, if you got it right, you best believe I'll shout you out. Shoot, at this point, I'll shout you out for just making that live comment. But I guess we have a little bit more important stuff on our hands right now. Gary Huffins, Trent Blaylock, Brandon Moore, Sean Judson going to lead us to the green flag. Remember, our 2 front runners right now are on older racing tires. Contact between the 43. Trent goes up the racing surface. Here comes the number 23 of Charles Van Schwick, as we're going to look 3 wide off the exit of 2. Somehow able to make it work. Oh, until we're not. That driver of the number 9, John Holliday, goes around, possibly going to bring out a yellow flag. Until then, going to stick with the race lead. We're going side by side here out of 4. Looks like John Holliday is starting to get his car back up and rolling. We're going to look side by side once again into turns 1 and 2. All the room being left between these 2 drivers. This is the 55 and the 43. They were going at it until caution flies on the speedway. Is this for John Holliday? No, it's not even. This is a different incident. This is Trent Blaylock involved once again. And correct me if I'm wrong here, guys, but I do believe Trent was one of those drivers who did stay out. Let's take a look at, where do we start? I guess we'll start on the race restart here and keep an eye on John Holliday. Alrighty, so we're going to work up and through the gears. Here's the number 9. This is the first spin that occurs. We have a fairly cordial start here with just 10 laps to go. And here's the number 9. Oh, what happens here? Is it self-induced or is it a little accordion effect? Oh man, just a little overcorrection from the number 9. And then right now we have to look at, after this occurs, Trent Blaylock. What happens with the number 1 machine? Well, we'll stay on board with the old live shots here. This is working back to complete our first lap under this quick race restart. Another little accordion effect at Bud Shearer going around the number 93. Trent has nowhere to go as even more contact ensues. That's Bill Hales able to slow and his ARCA machine down, as unfortunately now Bud and Robert Armal are making down their ways down pit road. Taking a slower look at this replay between Trent there and the number 20. I don't think, Bud there and the number 20 as well as there's Trent involved. I don't think Bud really anticipated the 20 of, who runs the 20 here tonight? Xavier Salgado to really check up that much. And then it was pretty much just it's a snowball effect. Snowball effect. There you go. That's what I'm trying to get out. After that point, Bud Shearer continuing to work on his damage. So is Robert Armal, the driver of the 77. These drivers now dropping down to 14th, 15th, and 16th on the timing scoring. Alrighty, we are going to get things too wide. Hopefully, I say it every time, but I'm serious this time. Come on, guys. Hopefully our last restart here tonight. We'd love to finish it under green, but hey, if we don't, that is completely okay too. It's definitely going to continue to bring the action here on STAM Studio Network. Those of you that have joined us down there in YouTube land, real quick, one thing, if you're liking what you see, please hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. It helps me out a lot more than you might think. From the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate every single one of you joining in here tonight to complete the ARCA Super Series race number, what is this, 5 on the season from New Hampshire. And then we're going to bring the Cup Series back to Kansas Speedway next Tuesday night. Be sure to catch us here on SSN. I'll be up in the booth with Mr. Justin Yaw, but right now, Brandon Moore. This driver is led, I believe, the most amount of laps here tonight. He's got Gary Huffins, who is our biggest mover on tonight. Going to head side by side, and no, Brandon clears him for the race lead. Here comes that Charles Van Schwick once again. Now dives to the bottom of the hill, looks down the inside of Gary Huffins. That number 55, a little bit of contact into the wall for a little bit deeper into the pack. We're going to stick up on our first, second, and third right now. Charles, a little bit of a dive bomb into turns 3 and 4, making it stick. Here we go out of turns 4. Sean Judson. Oh, here's the side-by-side, that number 20, and how about old Brian Huntley Jr. works his way up to P6. Xavier Salgado, Jason Kinzer going at it. Jason works his way up the racing track. As here we have Xavier now still side by side. Oh, Jason big loose, able to somehow keep and hang on to that number 20. 3 wide. That's Tyler Massey in the Harvest number 17 Ford Mustang. Little crossover here. This is the battle for P7, 8, and 9 on track. Here we go back up to P2 and 3rd. This is Gary Huffins as well as DJ Kinner. DJ, oh, door quarter, barely clear the number 80. Another little crossover move for Gary, that number 55. Contact between the two. We got one up in the wall. We're still keeping things green. Still, oh, caution's got to be coming out now as we got damn near one around. One on its roof. That's the number 00, Zach Duscher around. Able to get back on all 4 General Racing tires. Heavy contact afterwards. Right now, Brandon Moore, according to our last timing and scoring loop, was in the lead. Will we have another restart to go? We definitely should. Sometimes iRacing likes to be a little weird. So before we take a look at the replay, let's just make sure that we do have an overtime coming. Right now, Tyler Massey, the Harvest number 17 Ford Mustang. How was he able to make his way through that wreck? My goodness, Dale Rapp, that number 52. Dale was looking to go a lap down earlier in this race, right back in P4. All right, this one's going to take 1 to 2 to 3,000 looks at the replay. And where do we even start here? My goodness, I guess we'll start with Trent Blaylock again. Unfortunately involved just not having the run that this driver, the number 1, wanted tonight. As here's a look at the replay. Here's the number, oh, this was actually our last caution here. Yeah, that was our caution before this one, and then this is when, well, the big one occurs here from New Hampshire. That's the number 80 involved, and this is, oh man, the driver's having nowhere to go as 55 getting tagged once again. Oh man, that's how the 00 gets up on their lid. We're gonna take the old, might have to take the blimp cam shot at this one. Goodness, I mean, where do we look at here is some more ARCA braking starts to occur. Well, actually, I say ARCA braking, the 53 as well as looks like Mike Allen able to get their cars slowed and woed down. Real quick, here we go once again. Zach Duscher. This is where we're going to take a look and see how he gets up on his lid. 4 wide at New Hampshire. That's not going to work out very well. Oh, just tagged. Oh, man, the right rear quarter panel sends Zach over and around. One more look at this replay before we get things fired back up to what should be a green-white checkered overtime finish here from New Hampshire. We'll have Brandon Moore. Oh, hang on to her. Man, oh man, that got That got pretty violent pretty quick there for Zach. Oh, and then as if that wasn't enough. Okay. Alrighty, lights are out on the iRacing safety pace car. Brandon Moore, Charles Van Schwick, both these drivers damn quick. All throughout practice as well as our race here tonight. Who is it going to be? Got Tyler Massey, as well as Dale Rapp, Brian Huntley Jr., Jason Kinzer, Robert Armal, John Holliday, Xavier Salgado, Travis Farmer rounding out that top 10. Lights are out, and we are about to head through the gears for the final, hopefully, time tonight. Here we go, Brandon Moore. It's all in this restart right now, and he gets an immaculate one here. Just 2 laps to go, 2 more miles. We're going to start to head side by side. 4P5 and 6 on back. That's the number 77. And how about John Holliday making his way up back in that number 9 right now? I don't think Charles Van Schwick's going to have anything. No, we're going to get another restart as we have more drivers around. Who is it involved this time? Oh, Sean and Tater Curse is going to strike the 52. All righty, Dale. Let's see. How did it happen here, man? Of course, Stam Studio Network sponsoring that replay is, well, it's the man himself who's behind the scenes as well as commentating here, making it all happen. Oh, man, Dale can't blame anybody there but himself. Just a little bit too much throttle out there of turn numero dos. Alrighty, I believe, quote me if I'm wrong here in y'all YouTube land, but we should have 2 attempts, or excuse me, 2 more attempts at a green flag, green-white checkered restarts here. And Brandon Moore, I liked his jump there in the Geico restart zone, but you got to be careful. If Charles Van Schwick starts to catch on to your games here, he can also time the restart right there with you. Brandon, if you're listening live here, or Charles, if you're listening live, be looking at your competitor to do something just a little bit different, as that's, I think, what's going to possibly make the dream work happen here tonight. You don't really have the teamwork to make the dream work at these short tracks, but right now, got the 43 leading that number 23, and then Tyler Massey. Man, he did I can't shout him out enough for missing that wreck there. Able to make his way around up to P3, up 5 spots on his race here tonight. Jason Kinzer, that number 11 Toyota Camry. Also, well, I say also, he's our biggest mover here tonight. How about it? Let me hear it for Jason down there in YouTube land. 20 spots gained here tonight. Got, okay, my screen's too small to see that one, but I will shout out that number 11. It's a pretty nice run here tonight. Also, Brian Huntley Jr., that one I can make out. That Dale Earnhardt Jr. Nation Guard number 88. Brian, keep it up, buddy. I don't want to give you the old Sean and Tater curse too soon, but hopefully this is our last restart here, and nothing really too big will happen to you. Robert Armal right there beside you. This is going to get good here, guys. Make sure you get up, stand up for your life. Don't give up the fight. I know the cardboard cutout fans are up here on their feet. Tip your caps, wave those imaginary green flags, because, well, we only get the old bump and run just twice a week. Right now, the ARCA series is coming at you live. We're going to finish up from New Hampshire. Then it got those Tuesday night Cup series. This time we'll be coming at you live again from Kansas Speedway, that iRacing safety car. Hopefully the final time tonight, down into the safety of pits, Geico restart zone. Brandon Moore just a little bit later in the zone once again. I think that got Van Schwick sleeping there a little bit. Here comes Tyler Massey working down the hill into turns 1 and 2. We're going to look 3, 4, 5 wide here in the back of the pack. Oh, 77 going around. We're going to have another one. 93 Bud catching more flight. Right now, we're going to keep things green. I saw one around. Does Brandon Moore possibly get to the white flag here? Continuing to lead, Van Schwick. We still have one around, but we're keeping things green. White flag is out. Anything will go here from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Braxton Jarrett goes around. Here comes Jason Kinzer on the outside of Tyler Massey for P3, our final driver interview spot. I don't think Van Swick's going to have anything for our race leader. More contact, more drivers going around. That's Zach Duscher once again. I don't think he's going to make the checkered flag. Here we go, beating and banging. That number 22 keeping it on the bottom of the track. Brandon Moore coming to the checkered flag. Congratulations, Brandon, on winning New Hampshire in the ARCA Super Series. Man, oh man. Van Swick calling B2. Kinzer barely making out there. P3 over Tyler Massey and Brian Huntley Jr., who will be P4. Tyler Massey drops to P5. John Holliday makes P6. Dale Rapp, Bud Scherer, Travis Farmer, Sean Judson. But right now, man, Brandon Moore, what a race. What a finish. How many laps did he lead here tonight? Regardless, congratulations, Brandon, on another win here in the Bump and Run Series. Man, Brandon, I don't blame you, man. Burn this puppy down. Oh, he's already out of the burnout. He's going to try and formula drift this thing into turns 1 and 2. Oh, my. He does. He makes it happen. Hang on to her, Brandon. You got to send this thing through race inspection after this, buddy. He keeps it out the wall, continues to burn them down. Congratulations, Brandon. He looks pretty happy. I can't wait to hear from this driver in the driver interviews. Before we cut to him, though, let's take a look at those race results. None other than Brandon Moore taking it down into racetostopsuicide.com victory lane. Charles Van Swick will end up P2. Jason Kinzer, P3. Brian Huntley Jr. will make it out P4. That Dale Earnhardt 88. Tyler Massey, John Holliday, Dale Rapp, Bud Scherer, Travis Farmer, Sean Judson. Nice finish there. So that'll definitely help you out in the points. Rounding out our top 10, Bill Hales, Trent Blalock, Trenton Johnson, Robert Armal, Gary Huffins, DJ Kinner, Anthony Lane, Zach Duscher, Braxton Jarrett, Xavier Salgado, Mike Allen, Philip Brigman, Austin Mice, Brad Slagle, Robert Chiswick, Kyle Gooden. Rounding out our 26. Goodness gracious, driver field here tonight. Real quick, before we cut to those old driver interviews, I'd just like to thank you all once again for joining me, Sean Stam, here on Stam Studio Network, bringing you the sights, the sounds. This race, it's been a little bit too much fun to watch this ARCA series. Let's cut to those driver interviews now, where I am in victory lane.
Everything else.
Sorry, Jason.
No, you're good, man.
Where I'm in victory lane, we're gonna start with Brandon Moore. Brandon, you got yourself a copy.
Yeah, I got you.
Alrighty, man. Well, it came down to just a, 2-3 restarts there after continuing to lead lap after lap. Man, Brandon, walk us through your race, man.
We had a good car, drove good, turned good, come off the quarter good. Led a bunch of laps, got a bunch of cautions in a row. Was thinking, might have this one taken out from under us, but we was able to persevere and get back to the lead and keep it, and here we are. But had a lot of good drivers out here keeping me honest, though. A lot of fast guys in here.
Well, shoot, Brandon, other than those fast guys keeping you honest, is there anybody else who all makes this happen for you here tonight, this Saturday night ARCA Super Series?
I just want to thank all the admins. They do such a good job putting this on for us. Thank you for always putting on a good broadcast for the folks at home. Always entertainment to go back and watch the broadcast after we get done running them. Very good at what you do. Just want to thank all the competitors who come out here as well to take time in their evening to come out here and run with us, because without the drivers, ain't none of this possible.
Man, I think you said it best there. Without the drivers, without this racecraft that we see week in, week out from Bump and Run, it's you really can't make it happen. So shouting out every single one of you. Man, Brandon, what you said there before that goes, that goes a really long way. I really appreciate that, man.
Absolutely. No problem at all.
Well, Brandon, I know you're probably sweating your butt off right now. I'm going to let you get back in the hauler, get back in your street clothes, and start to celebrate your race weekends, man.
I'm actually not. I'm actually sitting downstairs.
What?
Actually sick. You can probably tell with my voice the way that it is. I'm sitting down here with my hoodie on, but I was determined to come run this race.
Oh, you're a little under the weather there, are you, Mr. Moore?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, it's been a
man.
rough day. I worked all day and stuck through it because my people at work needed me to show up, and showed up, and then I come here and show up. So no rest for the weary.
Oh, couldn't have said it better there, Brandon. Congrats on your race win, and man, get back in bed, get in that shower. You deserve a little relaxation time, man.
Yeah, we're gonna get the NyQuil going tonight, boys. Usually we have a beer after a win, but we're gonna switch it to NyQuil.
Oh man, the responsible Brandon Moore gonna take away another race win in the Bump and Run series. Congrats once again, Brandon.
Thank you, sir.
Charles Van Schwick, you got yourself a copy.
Yep, yeah, I'm here.
Alrighty, so you're gonna bring it home here, P2. Man, another nice run. We see how far you are up there in the points. The old Bump and Run ARCA Super Series. How was your Ford Mustang, that number 23, handling for you here tonight with the 103-degree track temps?
Yeah, I mean, it felt good. This is by far, other than road courses, which I'm looking at the schedule, we go to one next week. But
hell yeah.
yeah, this is my worst track by far. It must be the car that I ran so good, because any other trucks, next gen, Xfinity, I'm maybe top 15, maybe, if it goes my way. I just don't know how to save tire here. Not a fan of this track, so if I come out P2, I queued up and told Brandon when these cautions, I was like, I'm good with a P2. Can we just end this race? I'm good with it, because I was kind of entering high, and people, at the end started getting impatient and diving. Shout out to the guys that were behind me and Brandon, not, running and doing something stupid. I know it was going on a little bit farther back, but it's dive bombing or whatever. I heard it. I didn't really look at it. But yeah, it was a good way to finish, and I got the win last week, second here. I'll hope to get a top 10. Hopefully, if I can stay on the track next week. And then after that, I'm looking at the schedule. The rest of the tracks favor me, so should be okay at the rest of the tracks.
Which road course is it next week?
Watkins Glen. If it's any of the road courses, that's one I'm probably the best at, which doesn't mean I'm good at. It's just the best for me. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll actually throw some practice in with this being a whole new car, because I think it's my third race in this car. So I love this car. It's definitely easier to handle and get a little racy there a little bit. I mean, a couple times I dove under him after he knocked me up a little bit early. But once that caution came out when I was in the lead, I knew I was just fighting for second, because he had a good takeoff speed, and I wasn't going to be able to catch him.
Well, Charles, congrats again on your podium finish, your second place here. I can already guess, I think, who we're going to shout out. I'm guessing it starts with a G and ends with a T.
Yeah. Well, first, you for the broadcast.
Oh, woohoo!
Watched the JR Memorials. They were awesome. Brian and the admins do a good job. Being an admin is I've done it. It's a thankless job. You got to deal with anywhere from 25 to 40 adult children. They do a good job with that, handling certain stuff. And then obviously to my company, Goat Racing Diecast, which is on the car. Got the Losi RC cars in. They're up on the website. 5% off using promo code LOSIGOAT. So LOSI and then GOAT, all capital. And then obviously Goat Racing 23 for 5% off anything else on the site, custom, pre-orders, new, previously owned collection. We got merch on there as well. And we also sponsor drivers. I'm not going to go through the list of my drivers. It's a long list, but if anyone's looking for a sponsorship to get a promo code and make a little extra money, and get some cool merch and hats and stuff like that, just reach out to me. Email is on the website under the sponsorship tag.
Thank you so much, Charles. And I guess second time again. Congrats on your P2 finish tonight, and keep it rolling here next into the Glen.
Thanks, buddy.
Alrighty, with that, so we're going to cut down to Jason, and then that will about wrap up our driver interviews. Jason, I'm down here in Victory Lane. You got a copy?
Absolutely, bud. How you doing?
Man, to be honest, I'm doing all right after this race. It was pretty fun to watch you guys duking it out here, lap in, lap out. That I think that's Save 22 sponsor on the side and the hood. Number 11, you're gonna bring it home P3 tonight, buddy. Walk us through your race.
Yeah, man. For the first 40 or so laps, I wasn't really worried about tires or anything else. I was just trying to, conserve, stay in the bag, keep my car clean. And then after that, about the last 20 or so laps is when I was really trying to start moving forward. And luckily, we had a caution where it trapped about half of the field a lap down and everything else. So that worked in my favor. It got me up in the top 8, I believe it was. And then from there, I just kind of moved forward about a spot or two from each restart. It worked out in my favor. I come home third.
Yeah, that was a pretty timely caution there. Man, I was just talking about it in the up here in the booth. I was like, oh, if a caution comes out right now, I think quite a few drivers will be in for a run for their money. And, man, that they were. Jason, you're going to come away with P3 here tonight. Is there anybody who all makes this happen for you?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, I got to thank you for the broadcast,
No.
man. You do a decent job.
I appreciate that,
Gotta thank
Jason.
league admins and everybody else that's a part of the league on a regular basis, man. It's really good driving. Everybody trying to give each other room, but also be pretty aggressive at the same time. It's kind of rare to find. So I got to thank the league for that alone. And my buddy Trent, we're kind of forming a team here. It's going to be called Highline Racing here shortly. So that way it won't say privateer anymore.
Oh, there you go. Hey, congrats again on your P3 finish, and that's pretty special there. A little look behind the scenes. You and Trent's possibly going to get a little teamwork behind the dream, or teamwork possibly going to make the dream work.
Yeah, man, like, we're real good friends and everything else, and we started this league together, and we're working well together. So we're going to try to get a team going on and see if we can make a run at a top 3 or so at the championship here.
Well, Jason, congrats again on your podium finish, and thanks for taking a little bit of time here for us in driver interviews.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. Also, got to say thank you to Velocity Racing. They're a group of people that help me out. Mission 22, as always, they're my main sponsor. Anybody that's listening, please check them out. Try to help them out however you can. It's a great organization.
Alrighty, Jason. Well, thank you once again, and have a great rest of your night, man.
Absolutely, man. Thank you again. Hope you have a good weekend.
Oh man, you do the same. I think I got all Sunday off tomorrow, so that'll be nice. My one off day of the week. I'm going to enjoy it, definitely. Congrats once again. Brandon Moore taking away the win here tonight. Charles Van Swick was very swick on the track, and Jason, you're going to bring it home at P3. Brian Huntley Jr., Tyler Massey, our top 5 drivers here tonight. I appreciate everybody, again, here on Stam Studio Network, taking the time out of their night to join us on the virtual racing circuit of New Hampshire. Be sure, come on out. Well, Monday nights, we're going to be live here with some road course racing at Knock Hill, and then Tuesday, we're going to be bump and run back there at Kansas. This is Sean Stam here up in the booth. Congratulations to everybody on coming out and even finishing tonight. It was a bull ring, you could call it here. Oh boy, I'm going to catch my flight back home. Have a great rest of your night, and I'll catch you Monday night. Thanks, everybody.